Some movie endings never give a clear answer.
Hotel set. We'll be landing in Los Angeles in about 20 minutes.
They end on a question, a moment that keeps playing in your head after the credits fade. People argue about what really happened because the films never confirm anything. And that uncertainty is part of what makes these movies so powerful. In this video, we'll talk about 3 movie endings that remain unsolved and why the filmmakers left them that way. If you enjoy movie breakdowns that look deeper into storytelling and hidden meaning, hit subscribe. It's free and it helps you catch future uploads like this one. Now, let's begin with the dream heist that left audiences guessing for over a decade. Inception. Inception centers on Dom Cobb, a man who works in an unusual field of corporate espionage. Instead of breaking into buildings, he breaks into dreams. Using advanced technology, Cobb can enter another person's subconscious while they're asleep and steal their secrets directly from their mind. It's an illegal skill that makes him valuable, but also a fugitive. Unable to return home to his children in the United States. One day, a wealthy businessman named Saito offers Cobb a deal. Instead of stealing an idea, Saito wants him to do the opposite, to plant one. The target is Robert Fisher, heir to a massive energy corporation. Saito wants Fisher to believe on his own that dissolving his father's empire is the right thing to do. If Cobb can pull it off, Saito promises to use his political connections to erase Cobb's criminal record, finally allowing him to see his family again. To accomplish this inception, Cobb assembles a team. Arthur the strategist, Ariadne the architect, Eames the shapeshifter, Yusuf the chemist, and Saito himself, who joins to oversee the mission. The mission takes place inside a series of dreams, layered within each other. A dream inside a dream, and then another beneath that. Each layer runs at a different speed, so the deeper they go, the slower time moves. A few minutes in the upper level might feel like hours or even years further down. The first level takes place in a rainy city, where the team tries to keep Fisher unaware he's dreaming. The second is a hotel that loses gravity when the van from above crashes. The third is a snow-covered fortress, modeled after Fisher's mental defenses. Inside its vault, the team plants a carefully staged memory, convincing Fisher that dissolving his father's company is a personal act of peace rather than manipulation. As the mission reaches its final stage, 2 major problems threaten to destroy everything. The first happens early in the operation. Saito is shot in the first dream level. Because of the heavy sedative, death won't wake him up. It will send him to limbo, a formless dream world where the mind can be trapped for what feels like decades. The second problem is more personal. Cobb's guilt over his late wife, Mal, has become so strong that his subconscious keeps recreating her inside the dreams. This version of Mal appears without warning and attacks anyone who threatens Cobb's illusion of control, including the team. In the film's climax, Mal's projection appears again and shoots Fisher, the target, killing him inside the dream. To save the mission, Cobb and Ariadne descend into limbo to retrieve Fisher's consciousness and confront Cobb's buried guilt. Inside the ruins of his old dream city, Cobb finally faces the memory of Mal and admits she's only a shadow, a creation of his own mind, not the real woman he lost. Letting her go frees him from the cycle of regret that has haunted him since her death. While Cobb resolves his past, Fisher experiences a symbolic vision of his father's vault, where the inception takes hold and the false memory plants the idea Saito wanted. With the job complete, Cobb keeps his word and goes deeper to find Saito, who has grown old in limbo. Time has no meaning there, but they recognize each other through shared fragments of dialogue. Old men filled with regret, waiting to die alone. That reminder helps them remember the real world. They take the leap together, ready to wake up. Everyone wakes on the plane as Hans Zimmer's music rises. Fisher looks calm, unaware of the manipulation. Saito makes a call. Cobb clears immigration and sees his father-in-law, Miles, waiting. They drive home. Cobb sets his totem spinning on the table. This small top once belonged to Mal. In dreams, it spins without stopping. In waking life, it should fall. Cobb hears his children in the yard. He walks to them and embraces them as the camera holds on the top. It wobbles. The screen cuts to black. Viewers still debate what the ending means. Some note that Professor Stephen Miles, Cobb's father-in-law played by Michael Caine, appears in the last scene. Caine has said that director Christopher Nolan told him any scene with Miles represents reality, suggesting the finale is real. Others point out that Cobb uses Mal's totem, which breaks the rule that a totem must be personal and private. Even the children's identical clothes and ages from his memories raise questions. None of these clues confirm anything. Nolan built the ending to stay uncertain. The focus isn't on whether the top falls, but on Cobb's choice to stop watching it. He finally lets go of his obsession with proof and embraces peace with his children, leaving reality itself open to interpretation. And that's what makes Inception so unforgettable. It's a film that intentionally makes you live inside the same doubt as its main character, long after it's over. But while Inception leaves viewers wondering about the nature of reality, the next film leaves them trapped inside the walls of their own imagination. Let's move to The Shining, a story where fear doesn't come from what's seen, but from what can never be explained. The Shining is one of those films where the ending haunts you because it refuses to explain itself. Based loosely on Stephen King's novel, it follows Jack Torrance, a struggling writer who takes a winter caretaker job at the isolated Overlook Hotel. He brings his wife Wendy and their young son Danny, hoping the peace and quiet will help him focus on his writing. But from the very start, the hotel doesn't feel empty. It feels alive. Danny has a mysterious ability called the Shining, a form of psychic sensitivity that lets him see echoes of past violence in the hotel. Through his visions, he encounters terrifying images. Twin girls standing silently in a hallway, rivers of blood pouring from an elevator, and a ghostly bartender who seems to know Jack far too well. As the winter snow traps them inside, Jack begins to unravel. He's haunted by the hotel's ghosts, who feed on his frustration and slowly push him toward madness. The tension builds until Jack finally snaps, turning on his family with an axe in one of cinema's most famous breakdowns. Wendy and Danny manage to escape into the hotel's hedge maze, while Jack chases them in the freezing snow. Danny cleverly retraces his own footsteps to hide, leaving Jack lost and disoriented until the cold overtakes him. By morning, Jack is frozen solid in the maze. Just when the audience thinks the nightmare's over, the camera drifts through the hotel's grand hallway and stops at a framed photograph from 1921. In the center of the black and white image is Jack Torrance, smiling at a 4th of July ball nearly 60 years before he ever set foot in the hotel. That final shot has sparked endless interpretations. Was Jack reincarnated? Did the hotel absorb his soul? Or had he always been part of its history, repeating the same cycle forever? Kubrick never confirmed an answer. That silence is what keeps The Shining alive in film discussions decades later. The Overlook isn't just a haunted building. It's a trap for memory itself. Every time someone tries to explain what the photo means, they step into the same maze as Jack, searching for a way out that doesn't exist. And while Kubrick turned mystery into fear, Our next film transforms uncertainty into something strangely beautiful, a story about art, ego, and the blurred line between death and transcendence. The movie Birdman is a completely different kind of mystery. It's not about supernatural horror or dream manipulation, but about the battle inside one man's mind. The story follows Regan Thompson, a faded Hollywood actor once famous for playing a superhero called Birdman. Years after leaving that role, his career has collapsed, and he's trying to prove that he's more than the character that made him famous. To do that, he directs and stars in a serious Broadway play, his desperate attempt at artistic redemption. Throughout the film, Regan wrestles with a voice in his head, Birdman himself, who mocks his insecurities and tempts him to return to his former fame. The camera never cuts away, moving through the chaotic backstage corridors in what feels like one continuous shot. We see Regan's world falling apart, the pressure of the production, his strained relationship with his daughter, the critical scrutiny from the press, and his crumbling mental state. As opening night arrives, Regan's sense of reality slips further. He starts levitating, flying through New York streets, and using what seem like telekinetic powers, though it's never clear whether these moments are real or imagined. The line between his fantasy and the real world disappears completely during the play's final scene. Regan uses a real gun instead of a prop, shooting himself on stage in front of a live audience. He survives and wakes up in a hospital, his nose bandaged, to play a critical success. Reporters praise him, his family seems proud, and for the first time, he appears at peace. Then comes the final scene. Regan walks to the hospital window, opens it, and steps out. His daughter Sam rushes to the window, looks down, and then looks up. She smiles. The camera lingers on her face, and the movie ends. Did Regan die, or did he truly fly? The movie never answers this. Some see the ending as his death, his soul freed through the act of creation. Others think it's literal flight, a return to the Birdman persona he once hated but could never escape. The truth isn't meant to be known. Like Cobb's totem or Jack's photograph, Regan's leap exists between two interpretations. Both valid, both emotional. The beauty of Birdman lies in that uncertainty. It's not about finding the right answer, but about what that ambiguity says. Regan spends the film craving approval and searching for meaning in fame, art, and identity. In the end, the only real escape he finds is in transcendence, whatever that word means to the viewer watching. Some stories give closure, others refuse to end, living on as questions that never stop echoing. These three films, Inception, The Shining, and Birdman, remind us that mystery can be more powerful than explanation. It's the uncertainty that keeps people watching, arguing, and dreaming long after the screen goes dark. Which of these mystery endings fascinates you the most? Cobb's spinning top, Jack's photograph, or Regan's final leap? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow film lovers, and subscribe for more dives into the movies that keep audiences guessing long after the screen fades to black. See you in the next one.